Am I the asshole for not allowing my daughter to spend Christmas with me and my new family? I, 46F, am the mother of a 24-years-old woman from my first marriage, and 12 and 10-years-old boys from my second marriage. When I was married to my first husband, he was unemployed almost all our marriage. We lived in a house his father owned. His father paid our bills, he bought us the car we drove, he sent my husband money to take care of our family, etc. I was young, stupid and in love. That is my only excuse for living like that. When my daughter turned 5, I started pushing my husband to work. I myself got a job. He didn't want to. Things escalated and ended up in us getting divorced. He got full custody while I got visitations every other Saturday. His dad hired a good lawyer. I couldn't do that. I also had to pay child support. I used to work a full-time and 2 part-time jobs to afford my 1-bedroom apartment as well as the child support payments. A year after our divorce, my ex married a new woman. There was a lot of child alienation from them, and sadly I couldn't afford to take them to court again. By the time my daughter turned 14, she was calling me by name and calling her stepmom, Mom. I tried my best to hold on to my kid. I went to all the event I could go to. I planned fun days with the limited funds I had. Even when I couldn't afford to turn on the heat, I still made sure to get her a Christmas gift. Sadly, by the time she turned 16, she no longer wanted to have anything to do with me. I took them to court, but they did nothing. And the last time I saw her, she said some very awful things to me. I was defeated, but I decided that I no longer had a daughter, since that is literally what she wanted. I moved away, met a good man, married him and had 2 wonderful kids. Last year my daughter reached out. She was sorry, she said that she wanted to reconnect. I was hesitant and resentful, but I still talk with her once a week. Suddenly she asked if she could spend Christmas with us. She wanted to get to know her brothers. I told her that we were not in a stage where I could allow that. It got heated, but I told her that I could not trust her with my kids, and that I was still not 100% sure that I wanted our relationship to become more. She says that I am in awe, that I am punishing her for things she had no control over, that I know what she told me and how she reacted to me was a direct result of her father's manipulation. Am I the asshole? Edit. Since a nice Redditor brought it to my attention, my kids are adopted, she is my only biological child. I am just used to saying that I had kids. They are technically my late SIL's children, but I raised them these last 7 years. You are the asshole. I was young, stupid and in love, that is my only excuse for living like that. Your daughter was also young and surrounded by manipulative people who turned her against you. You were able to snap out of it and work hard to make a life for yourself. Your daughter, who hurt your feelings when she was literally a child, seems to have snapped out of it as well. But you offer her no grace. This is just sad for both of you. Your daughter is an adult now and is trying to connect to you. Please don't throw that away. The real AHs here are your ex, the stepmom, and the grandfather. I don't think anyone's the asshole here except the dad, since he manipulated the daughter into hating her own mom. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my boyfriend's vodka after smashing it? I, 26F, have been with my boyfriend Sean, 25M, for about a year and a half. It's been great, but I let him know from the outset that I was a recovering alcoholic. He had no problem with that, and he still drinks with his friends, but won't do that in my presence. It still bothers me that he drinks, but it's his life, I can't tell him what to do. Fast forward to last Sunday, and we're at his apartment. I come in, and he's in the middle of making pasta sauce, and there's a large bottle of vodka on the counter. I didn't say anything about the bottle, but he saw me staring at it, and he told me it's for the sauce. Pasta sauce he's made me at least twice a month for the entirety of our relationship. He said he's told me from the beginning he does that it cooks away, but I think that would be something I would very much remember, and I got a little angry. I knocked the bottle off the counter and went to my mom's. He's called and apologized for triggering me, and that he was being brainless, but he wants me to pay for the broken bottle, which he says was about an $80 brand. I told him that I wasn't under any circumstances going to pay for something he's been lacing my food with for years. We haven't really talked since, and my mom wants me to just go ahead and buy the thing to make amends, and I'm still refusing. Am I the asshole? Edit. I didn't smash the bottle, I pushed it off the counter and it broke. I didn't throw it. Edit 2. Alright, I get it. I'm going to get him $80 worth of stuff to make up for it. But I really don't appreciate being called violent or abusive. I've never hit him once, and I think that's a pretty rash assumption. You are the asshole. Adults use their mouths to communicate. Hey, I'm not comfortable with you cooking with alcohol and having alcohol in my presence at all. I thought you were aware of that and would like to respect my preference. You went, me no likey me go smash smash. You are the asshole. There is no alcohol remaining in the food, so he was not lacing your food. Of course you can ask him not to make that dish in the future if it triggers you. Still, you destroyed someone else's property and you need to make restitution. Am I the asshole for telling my cousin that his girlfriend's needs aren't as important as my daughter's? My daughter is autistic and has a support dog. He's an Anatolian Shepherd, so a big scary dog. He was initially supposed to be a livestock guardian for my dad, but when I took my daughter to meet him they kinda bonded. We ended up with him a few weeks later due to him being generally bad at his job, and now he works to support my daughter, and she absolutely loves him. This is all to say we have a very big dog who looks very mean sometimes. He's sweet as anything, though. My cousin's girlfriend is terrified of dogs. The first time she saw him she refused to come in the house. We have a pretty big house, so family meals are usually held at mine. This is obviously posing an issue as his girlfriend won't come into my house because of the dog. We have crated him for very short periods so she could come in, but she's clearly very uncomfortable, and my daughter gets very nervous around new people without him present. I've explained that there isn't any compromise to make, and my cousin is quite annoyed, asking why we couldn't just leave the dog home and eat elsewhere. Honestly, I wouldn't mind, as I could just leave my daughter with her mom, but no one else wants to cook lol. In my opinion, if he wants to reinforce family bonding so much he should offer to cook. Anyway, it's a serious issue right now and causing arguments within family. It all came to a head last night when they dropped off my dad. He's staying for Christmas. Anyway, my cousin started yelling, asked me why I hated his girlfriend so much and couldn't accommodate her. I told him his girlfriend's fears weren't as important to me as my daughter's comfort. My dad ended up cooling it down and essentially called me an asshole. She can't control her fears and all that. So, am I the asshole? I feel a little bad. But my daughter feeling comfort is more important to me. Imagine coming into your home, eating your food and expecting you to get rid of the dog that calms your daughter. Funny how they can all complain, but none offer to open their home and bank account to change the house. Ask him and your dad why they both hate your daughter. Since they both like to open their entitled mouth to spew ridiculousness. The sheer audacity. Not the asshole. Your cousin's girlfriend can't control her fears? That's nice. Your autistic daughter can't control her fears either, and it's her fucking house. Your cousin and dad both need to get over themselves before they stop getting invited for Christmas. Not the asshole. Your cousin sounds like a jerk who can't explain to his girlfriend why the dog is necessary. Don't exclude your daughter from family events, especially for the sake of someone who isn't in your family. Am I the asshole for saying that my husband's reaction to a miscarriage is excessive? I need to know if I'm being reasonable or heartless here. My husband, 27 male, has a longtime friend who we'll call Bill, 31 male. The two of them met when my husband was 16, and from the way they always tell the story, they've been inseparable ever since. Bill is now married and lives nearby with his wife. They announced their pregnancy a while ago and my husband was absolutely overjoyed for them. He would visit as often as he could and it seemed like he was single-handedly funding the baby's wardrobe and nursery, honestly. Unfortunately, they suffered a miscarriage just before the 6-month mark. Bill and his wife were understandably devastated, and so was my husband. I got it, he was watching his best friend go through something unimaginably painful. He was often gone for long periods to time comforting Bill because not only had he suffered this loss, his marriage didn't seem to be holding up very well either. The miscarriage occurred at the end of September. Now, this is where I might be a huge asshole, so I'm in desperate need of judgment. I completely empathize with Bill and his wife still needing time to recover, but my husband is our significant other still acting as if this is fresh. Not just in the way he's still comforting his friend during his free time or excusing himself to take hours-long phone calls, but the intensity of his emotions. I caught him crying about a week ago and when I asked him what about, he got angry with me and said it should be obvious. I was surprised to be met with such malice over a simple question, so I tried to gently suggest that maybe therapy would be beneficial. He was feeling this loss like it was his own, and I didn't find that very healthy. In fact, I had been concerned about him since mid-October if I was honest, but had no idea how to broach the subject. The conversation that followed didn't go well, and my husband said his emotions were perfectly normal and that maybe I was just lacking in empathy. He's been avoiding me since. Am I the asshole? Reading the title, I was prepared to say that you are the asshole, but having read the whole post, I agree with you. Your husband is acting like he actually lost a baby. Being empathetic is one thing, but this does seem a bit over the top. Either there's more to this story, and I hope there isn't, or he does need to speak to a therapist to work out why he is so enmeshed with his friend. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your husband is unusually enmeshed here. Like weirdly so. I don't think his relationship with Bill is entirely platonic. Have you seen Bill and his wife recently? If you've been distancing yourself, I'd say it's time to go when your husband does, so you can judge just how things are between the three of them. Whatever it is that's bothering your husband, it's clear he's grieving much more than a friend's lost baby. Not the asshole. Therapy ASAP. You sure this wasn't husband's baby? Secret donor? Affair? That does not seem normal.